Welcome back to the darkest corner of YouTube. I'm Dark, and tonight we delve into the unsettling abyss where nature's beauty conceals its most primal horrors. We've collected 3 unnerving tales from those who dared to venture into the woods, only to find themselves entangled in something far more sinister than they could have ever imagined. So, gather close, turn off the lights, and let the unsettling ambience wash over you. And if you find yourself ever lost in the woods, remember these tales. The Whispering Woods had always held an allure for the adventurous, its name whispered among hikers with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. A group of friends, eager to test their mettle, decided to spend a weekend exploring its depths, their laughter echoing through the ancient trees as they set up camp. The first day passed without incident, the group reveling in the tranquility of the woods. But as dusk painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, a change settled over the forest. The air, once vibrant with the sounds of nature, grew heavy with an unnatural silence. A silence broken only by the rustling of leaves, a sound that seemed to grow closer, encircling them. It was then that they heard it, a whisper, faint and indistinct, carried on the breeze. They paused, their laughter dying in their throats as they strained to listen. The whisper came again, closer this time, seeming to emanate from the trees themselves. A shiver of unease ran down their spines. They tried to rationalize it away, blaming the wind or their imaginations, but as the night deepened, so too did the whispers. They seemed to be everywhere, surrounding them, taunting them. Sleep offered no escape. The whispers followed them into their dreams, twisting their subconscious into a tapestry of fear. Each rustle of leaves, each creak of a branch sent their hearts racing. They were no longer the carefree group that had entered the woods. Fear had become their constant companion, their laughter replaced by hushed whispers and nervous glances. One by one they began to crack under the pressure, their nerves frayed by the relentless whispers. Arguments erupted, fueled by paranoia and sleep deprivation. Desperate for an escape, they decided to abandon their hike and return home. But the woods, it seemed, had other plans. The once familiar trail seemed to twist and turn, leading them in circles. Panic set in, their fear growing with each passing moment. The whispers, louder now, seemed to mock their plight, feeding on their terror. They were lost, trapped in a nightmare of their own making. As darkness fell once more, they huddled together for comfort, their faces illuminated by the flickering light of their campfire, their eyes wide with fear. They knew deep down that something was hunting them, something ancient and evil that lurked within the whispers. The forest held a different kind of allure for Michael, a seasoned solo camper seeking solace in the embrace of nature. He'd found a secluded spot on the map, miles from any marked trail, promising pristine solitude. He relished the challenge, the thrill of being alone, self-reliant, swallowed by the wilderness. As he trekked deeper into the woods, the familiar sights and sounds of nature became his only companions. The sun dipped lower, casting long, eerie shadows through the trees. It was then he stumbled upon it, an abandoned campsite. A chill snaked down his spine, an unwelcome guest in the solitude he'd craved. The site was surprisingly well preserved. A faded canvas tent stood forlornly amidst the trees, its entrance unzipped, inviting yet unsettling. A fire pit lay cold and empty, surrounded by logs arranged neatly, as if awaiting a phantom gathering. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The air hung heavy, thick with an unseen tension. His instincts, honed from years of wilderness survival, screamed at him to leave, to find another spot, any spot but this one. He tried to reason with himself. It was probably just another camper who'd left in a hurry, he thought, dismissing the unease tightening its grip around his chest. He'd set up camp a good distance away, reassuring himself with the logic that whatever had spooked him was long gone. As darkness descended, the forest came alive with the sounds of the night. The chirping of crickets, the rustling of leaves, the distant hoot of an owl, a symphony of nature he usually found comforting. But tonight, each sound sent a jolt of fear through him, his senses on high alert. He built a fire, the dancing flames providing little comfort in the encroaching darkness. Shadows danced at the edge of the light, twisting familiar shapes into menacing figures. He found himself constantly looking over his shoulder, his heart pounding in his chest. The silence was broken by a twig snapping. He froze, his breath catching in his throat. It came again, closer this time, followed by the distinct sound of footsteps approaching his camp. He grabbed his flashlight, his hand trembling as he pointed the beam into the darkness. "Hello?" His voice echoed through the silent trees, shaky and thin. Only silence met his call. He waited, his heart pounding in his ears, but saw nothing. Emily and Daniel, a couple seeking a respite from their bustling city lives, embarked on a weekend camping trip. They sought solace in each other's company, the allure of a secluded trail promising a peaceful escape. They envisioned starlit nights, whispered secrets, and the comforting crackle of a campfire. Their journey began with a shared excitement, the thrill of adventure fueling their steps. They followed the path, its presence marked by weathered signs, and the occasional hiker venturing in the opposite direction. As they ventured deeper, however, the trail grew less defined, the signs fewer and farther between. They laughed it off at first, attributing their predicament to their lack of navigational skills. But as the sun began its descent, casting long shadows through the dense canopy, a knot of unease tightened in their chests. They consulted their map, its once clear markings now seeming as foreign and unhelpful as ancient hieroglyphs. The trail they had sworn they were on had simply vanished. Panic set in, their earlier laughter replaced by hushed whispers and anxious glances. Nightfall brought with it a sharp drop in temperature and an oppressive darkness that seemed to press in on them from all sides. They huddled together for warmth, their fear palpable in the stifling silence. They tried to retrace their steps, desperately searching for any sign of the trail, but the woods seemed to twist and turn around them, a labyrinth with no exit. Every path they took led them in circles, the trees seeming to mock their plight with their silent, stoic presence. As hours turned into an endless night, their hope dwindled with each passing moment. They were lost, hopelessly and terrifyingly alone in the heart of the wilderness. Their initial excitement had morphed into a gnawing fear, a primal instinct that whispered of unseen dangers lurking in the shadows. They started noticing things, subtle at first, easily dismissed as tricks of the light or figments of their sleep-deprived minds. A fleeting movement in the undergrowth, a pair of eyes glinting menacingly from the darkness, the whisper of their names carried on the wind. The fear, once a dull ache, now pulsed through their veins like a living thing. They were being watched, hunted. They could feel it in every fibre of their beings. They were no longer alone in the woods. They stumbled upon a clearing, a beacon of moonlight in the oppressive darkness. In the center stood a lone tree, its gnarled branches reaching towards the sky like skeletal fingers. As they approached, a wave of dizziness washed over them, the air thick with an unnatural chill. Something wasn't right. They could feel it in their bones. This place was different, charged with an energy that sent shivers down their spines. The woods, as you've heard tonight, are never truly what they seem. They hold beauty, yes, but also a darkness, a primal fear that whispers on the wind. If these tales have taught us anything, it's that some paths are best left untraveled, and some mysteries are better left unsolved. But if you do find yourself drawn to the wilderness, remember these stories. Stay vigilant, trust your instincts, and always, always be mindful of what lurks just beyond the light.